Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph, Ottawa. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969. I hope everyone's doing well on this Monday, March 23rd, 2026. And this is episode 683. And I want to say deepest sympathies and condolences to those people that were killed and injured in the plane crash last night, the Air Canada plane crash at LaGuardia Airport in New York, when the plane, I guess, hit a fire truck, and the 2 pilots are deceased, and they had, I think, 41 people on the plane injured, and 32 of them were released from the hospital, and I think there's still 8 or 9 there as well. So thinking about all the people that were affected by that as well from last night at LaGuardia Airport. Anyways, I'm looking forward to my guest tonight. This is her first appearance on our show, and she is a teacher, a math teacher, and now a stand-up comedian out of the great state of Massachusetts. And we're going to bring on Jeanne DeRosa right now, talk a little bit about her career as a teacher, transitioning in as a stand-up comedian as well. Good evening, Jeanne. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. I forgot to do this for you. I do this with all my guests. And I have a boo button, but I don't use the boo button on comedians.
Okay. All right. Well, if you get sick of me, just start booing. It's all good. My students probably would do the same.
So how are you doing in health things in the Massachusetts, the great state of Massachusetts right now?
It's cold here, but we shouldn't really whine because I know it's probably colder up north. But yeah, it's cold here. We had a little taste of spring and just went away.
Our weather is similar to yours. A couple weeks ago, we had a 70-degree day, and then we had more snow last week, and now the snow's all gone again, and it's starting to warm up. So I think we might have a few more cold days left, but spring is definitely here.
Let's hope so.
I got to ask you this. What are your favorite seasons of the year? Mine are fall and winter.
I think that all teachers will tell you summertime's always the best.
I used to say that when I was younger, but I find the older I get, I find these summers are getting so hot and humid nowadays. So for me, fall because of football and it's sweatshirt weather, and winter, I just like the cold temps. I guess I like having the 4 seasons, but I just find the summers are getting too hot now.
Yeah, no, I could take heat any day of the week. Vegas in 103-degree temperatures sounds really good to me. So,
are you originally from the state of Massachusetts? Are you a Massachusetts? Yes.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
What makes that state so great?
I mean, I don't think I would brag that we're the greatest state in the United States or anything, but I like it here just because my family's here, so that makes it pretty great for me. But let's see, things about Massachusetts I like. I do like the apple picking in the fall, and I do like that we do have some snow. Do I really want the volume of snow we have? No. To be quite honest, I would move down south if I could. it's nicer there. But yeah, I mean, it's a good place to live. I would say we have good sports teams.
Absolutely. And speaking of sports teams, a couple of my guests have been involved with the Patriots. Ben Volan, who's with the Boston Globe, has been on my show a couple times to talk Patriots. And the voice of the Patriots on 98.5, the Sports Hub, Bob Soshi's been on my show 3 times. And he's one of the nice guys. Even though I'm not a Patriots fan, Bob's one of the nicest guys you meet. And he does a great job doing the radio call for the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah. We love the Patriots.
They had a great year. Hey, nobody expected them. I don't even think their fan base expected them to get to the Super Bowl this year. I think they were just expecting them to get 500 and show improvement. And Mike Rabel did a great job with Drake May and getting that team into the Super Bowl.
I 100% agree. It was really a phenomenal season. It was a good comeback tour, I think, for them. And, we're looking forward to next season.
But it's going to be harder because they're not going to be able to sneak up on teams. And as being an Eagles fan, everybody thought the Eagles were going to win back-to-back Super Bowls. And it's hard. Every year in sports, there's no guarantees.
Well, there's no guarantees in any of life, right? Like,
that's true.
That's the fun thing about all of it, right?
Death and taxes are the only things guaranteed.
Yeah. Although, I do have an ex-boyfriend that would have said, taxes, he didn't believe in the taxes. He just thought they were a suggested contribution to the government. So, we all know that they're guaranteed, but he didn't really think so. Yeah.
When you do stand-up comedy, do you put a little bit of sports in it? A little bit?
Actually, I do have a whole set about some of the things in sports. Yeah, I do talk about it, especially the Patriots and things, things that come from the Patriots organization.
Gotta ask you this. You got a lot of great teams, franchises there. Which team do you feel is the number one team in Massachusetts?
The number one team in Massachusetts?
Yeah, Red Sox, Patriots, Bruins,
I'm not going to say, because if I say one team, there's going to be a whole lot of people pissed off at me. So I'm not going to say what I think the number one team is. I mean, I love them all. Let's just say, yes, hockey, basketball, football, baseball.
The Patriots have got 6 Super Bowls. The Celtics obviously have 18 championships. The Bruins have 5 Stanley Cups, and the Red Sox, I think, have 7 or 8 World Series. And hey, the Red Sox, they went 86 years without winning, and they've won 4 World Series in the last 22 years, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say, my son is he's only known really Massachusetts and sports teams here to be winners. So it'll be shocking if we start like on a losing streak. He'd be like, what is this? Like, he just thinks we're always supposed to win.
I just enjoy sports because of the drama, and it really does unite people. You go to sporting events and stuff like that. You're there to watch your favorite players, your favorite teams, and I just find it unites people.
I agree.
So anyways, Jeanne, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. Is this your first Canadian live stream show that you've been on so far?
It is. I was very surprised when you reached out. I said, how is Canada finding me?
Being a talk show host, producer, content creator, when I'm not on air, I'm always creating content and promoting myself, but I'm also looking for guests as the producer. So I'm constantly looking for guests, and the social media platforms have helped me in that regards. And I reach out to people. I tell them a little bit about myself, and I hope they check out my stuff. And then fingers crossed they want to come on my show too. And I also realize too, Jeanne, not everyone's going to be my cup of tea, or they're going to be my cup of tea. So I just try to reach out to my guests, give them as much information, and hopefully they want to come on and share their stories and careers with us.
I do love Canada. We went up, we were up in Canada for a Bell Cup tournament, I believe, for hockey when my kids were younger. And we had a great time in Canada until 2 of my kids started fighting in the street. That wasn't so cool, but it was a good time.
They should have done that on the ice.
My 2 kids, they fought a lot when they were younger. Good thing we had a lot of hockey dads around to break them up. I did love
I'm
Canada.
I was gonna assume being in Massachusetts, you're not far from Quebec. Was it in the province of Quebec where the hockey tournament was?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I figured. Did you try poutine, French fries, gravies, and cheese curds?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you get to? Oh, what's the name of your dog that's barking?
Yeah, there's 2 of them, and they feed off of each other. There's, Bella and Maisie, and, they hear any noise, and then one starts, and then, you know, it's great.
They're like your they're like your other kids. They're babies.
Yes, see, they fight in the streets of Canada.
Make
Yeah.
sure you give them dog treats after. But when you did go to Quebec, did you get your Montreal smoked meat or poutine, which is French fries, gravy, and cheese curds?
Oh, yeah, poutine for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, escargot, very good up in Canada.
Quebec's a really great province there too.
Mhm.
Lot of culture, a lot of great food, and obviously they love their sports there too. And I don't think it's that far from Massachusetts. What, a 3 or 4 hour drive, maybe?
Oh, no, from Massachusetts?
Yeah,
Oh, no, it's a long drive.
longer than that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can't remember how long it took, like 8 hours, maybe 9 hours?
okay.
It was a long drive.
I'm about 2 hours from Buffalo and about 4 hours from Detroit, so I'm not that far from the U.S. border.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
You'll
nice
have to get up
there.
to Toronto one day. Toronto is great for comedy, by the way, and I saw one of my comedian friends perform at Second City there this past May. Mary Kennedy, who happens to be from Massachusetts as well. Do you
What?
happen to know Mary a little bit?
No, I have not had the pleasure of meeting Mary yet.
Great
Yeah,
person.
but yeah, I know, a lot of good comedians come from Toronto, so sometime I would love to get up there and do some comedy. In
If
fact,
you
I'm
do,
going to Chicago in June, and,
ooh,
yeah, really looking forward to trying to get into some comedy shows. I've already reached out to some people. I'm really hoping to be able to, get on a show or 2 while I'm out there.
are you able to plug your show in Chicago coming up?
I'm actually not in a show, I'm there for teaching,
Oh,
and,
okay.
I'll be there for a week, and so I've already lined up, a couple open mics I've looked up. I'm like, "Okay, here's my open mics I can go to," but I'd really ideally like to get on a show or 2 to really experience, the audiences in Chicago.
Chicago reminds me so much of Toronto. It's very diverse with their cultural, with their food, their music, and they love their comedy as well. And I'm
Mhm.
hoping one day to get back to Chicago. I love their Giordano's deep dish pizza, by the way,
Okay. Alright, I'll look it up.
and Goose Island beer. You gotta have a Goose Island beer with it too.
Oh, yeah, Goose Island IPA?
Yes.
Yes.
But
Sign me.
Chicago gets hot and humid in the summer, just like Toronto does. So it's like, but then do you want to go in the winter time? So I think, yeah, if you have a choice, Chicago's a lot nicer in the summertime than in the winter time.
Yep. Again, anything is better in the summertime to me.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, Jeanne, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So, I've been a school teacher since 1991. Been teaching math and taught high school for a long time. And then I switched over to middle school in the last 3 years. So that was a big change. It was a good change. You know, invigorating my spirits up until the time when I'm going to retire about 5 years from now. And it's been really nice. It's, that's my jam. Teaching has been my jam. Um, I have 3 kids, and they're all adult people, so they're adult children now, and
They grow up quick.
they do, yeah, blink of an eye. You know, they say it all the time, and it is 100% true. So yeah, so now I do comedy because I have all this time on my hands where I used to be running from hockey rink to hockey rink, and now I don't have that anymore. So this is my new thing to occupy my time, and I'm loving it.
How much has school changed since you became a math teacher back in 1991 with the internet and social media
Yeah.
and everybody using their smartphones nowadays? What are your thoughts on how much it's changed over the last 30 years, 3 decades?
Yeah, so it's changed tremendously. I think that by and large, kids haven't really changed too much. I think about like phone calls I've had to make home in the last couple of years, about kids doing wacky things in my class. And, they'll always do wacky things to surprise you. There's always some new funny thing happening where, comedy really lends itself well. But there's always been something, right? Like there's always been some reason I've had to call home to parents and say, hey, we're having a problem. I think the main change has been, when I used to call home, it was like apologetic people on the other end of the phone, by and large. And, people that were saying, oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing. And we will talk to them right away. And, very supportive people at home. And now it's kind of hit or miss, right? Like I could call home and get a supportive parent, or I could call home and get the, why don't you take care of it? You're the teacher, like do your job kind of thing. Or I could get the complete opposite, which is, my kid is an angel and there's something wrong with you. So now it's, you don't know what you're going to get on that end of the field. But I think, by and large, kids are the same. The only difference really with kids, I say, is the smartphones. That's been a huge problem in the classroom. One of the reasons that I've really loved making the switch to middle school is that cell phones are banned. If we see them, we take them. So that's been really nice because, the kids come into school, they're focused on school, they're focused on building relationships with each other, building relationships with the teachers in the building. They're focused on today, the day and age right now, like where they're at right now, as opposed to, what am I going to do later? Or where's my friend right now? Or what's my friend thinking? Or all of that, goes away once the cell phones leave their hand. So that's been the biggest change, I think.
How much of an adjustment was it going from high school all those years to middle school?
It was a very easy adjustment. Very, very easy adjustment. I taught high school. I taught all the way up to calculus. I taught AP calculus. So I had anything from freshmen up to seniors. And content-wise, right, it's much different. But kid-wise, teaching middle school it was an easy transition because, like I said, it's easier to establish relationships with those kids. They're there in the classroom, they're present in front of you. Yeah, I think that's been the major difference.
What are your thoughts on AI nowadays?
Oh God, I love it. It's amazing. I mean, there's so many nifty things you can do with AI that we couldn't do in the past, right? Like, making a worksheet, I used to have to either, when I first started, we had those stupid Mimeo things.
Yep.
Maybe you remember when we were kids and we get like
Yes.
their test, it was blue ink, and
Yep.
everybody would start smelling the test paper. It was like, because they smelled really weird, and everybody
Yes.
loved the smell of the tests. Kind of weird stuff, but yeah. So that was back then. We would handwrite or we'd have to type on the mimeograph paper. And if we made a mistake, it was all over. You have to start all over again. And now, you're just Xeroxing things, you're sending things to the printer. Excuse me. As far as AI goes, it's amazing that I can just go on to ChatGPT and say, hey, I need a worksheet that has to do with finding percent increase. And I want you to make a bunch of examples where I'm at a concert. And AI will come up with, there's my buddy, I call him Chad. He's my friend Chad, ChatGPT. And so I talked to Chad and I'm like, hey, this is what I need. I need a bunch of questions about, being at a concert. Put me at all kinds of cool concerts, put me at Bad Bunny, put me, at Taylor Swift. And God, there's like 50 million word problems spit out. So it's great.
Jeanne, do you find the size of classrooms nowadays are increasing or shrinking? And do you find math skills are not as developed as they used to be when we were in school?
No, I think that the class sizes are probably the same as they've always been. I don't really see any difference there. Would you ask about math ability? I think that the kids are kids, right? Like everybody's always struggled with math. Let's be honest.
I was a C+ student, math. C+.
Yeah, it's not everybody's jam, right? Like AP English wasn't my jam. I had a major fight with my English teacher my senior year, like it's not everybody's jam. So, and I get that. I've just always tried to make it relatable to kids and, try to come at it in different ways so that maybe, it's something a little bit more interesting to them. I think my favorite thing to teach was AP Calculus because I had taught it for so many years that I had fun things to do for every topic. So, if we were studying the sandwich theorem, we would bring sandwiches to class and we would have all kinds of sub sandwiches and, celebrate the sandwich theorem. Or when we first learned how to integrate and we had to put plus C on the end, I came in dressed as Cookie Monster and it was like, we never forget about our C and like things like that. So that the kids, every day it was an adventure. They're like, what's going to happen next? And so that was really, I loved teaching it because I had literally it was something every day for them where they were like, what's going to happen now? Like what wacky thing is she going to do? So I think, if you make it relatable to kids, even if it's not their jam, they'll find something in the class that they find interesting. Right.
What's 2 words to describe you as a math teacher?
Wicked bonkers. Yeah, I mean, I think that I've just been very patient with kids. I had not only had AP Calculus kids that were seniors, but I had kids that were really struggling as seniors. In fact, just a couple weeks ago, I ran into one of my former seniors who's now 32 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, I got off stage at a bar and he came running over and he was like, oh, do you remember me? And I was like, oh my God, do I remember you? I could tell him everything that they did, his entire class, the kids' names. So yeah, it's just, it's really neat. So I think that I've just always tried to find, a way to get to any kid that I run across.
How satisfying is it making an impact in some of these students' lives as a teacher?
I mean, it's kept me in the career this long, right? Otherwise, I probably would have packed it in a long time ago. The class that kid came out of, they were tough. They were a tough bunch, and we, dragged them kicking and screaming through to graduation. Like, they didn't want to learn math. They really just didn't. They had a lot of other things going on in their lives, and I worked with them. And one of the girls was not passing anything, and I worked with her all of her vacation week to get her to pass things and taught her kind of how to study the math. And I think that that's been very fulfilling. So
I have a viewer. Go ahead.
I just love kids. I think that they're the future. They're the future of all of us, right? So you got to help them out, help them along.
I'll be honest. I did okay in school, but if I could go back to school now, from my life experience, I think I would be a straight A student because I didn't know what I wanted to do in school. And it's tough to know nowadays, especially with the internet, social media, and so many distractions nowadays too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I have a viewer watching on Instagram, TM Design 990. He says hello, and he said he wanted to ask you something, but he hasn't put it in the comments section yet. So, TM Design 990, if you have a question from, I guess, Jeanne or myself, please put it in the comment section as well. Now, Jeanne, I'm going to put you on the spot here. When did you develop an interest in teaching, and did you have some early influences and mentors in your teaching career?
Oh, absolutely. So first of all, I mean, I grew up around teachers. My dad was a high school science teacher, and so from a very young age, if I had a snow day, I would be in school with dad, and I would be a little squirt of tyke walking around and um, with the high school kids, and so I was always around him teaching. Um, my aunt was also a teacher, so I got to be in her classroom a couple of times. I got to, as I got older, I got to help her correct her second graders' work, things like that. It was like really exciting to be able to correct things. So I always had an interest in it in that way. Um, I think I think my first really memorable time where I realized I wanted to be a math teacher was actually, interestingly enough, my grade 7 teacher, and I now currently teach grade 7, so that's kind of cool. But my grade 7 teacher used to always he used to pick on us all the time. Like if we didn't do our homework, we had to do push-ups in front of the room. Or if we asked a really silly question or something, he'd be like, "You're a buffalo," and he'd be like calling us all buffaloes. And so I really enjoyed being in his classroom because it was really fun. And then the following year, my 8th grade math teacher, Mr. Sardellis, I'll give him a shout out because he was amazing. He had such a large class that he didn't have enough seats for all of us. There was over 30 kids in the class. We were sitting up on the windowsills, and it was, we were packed. So he looked at his roster and I guess gave us all a pretest or whatever, and took 6 of us and stuck us all in the library, gave us all algebra books, and said, "Here, learn math and teach each other. I'll be back." And we literally sat in the library all year and taught each other algebra by reading the book, figuring it out. He gave us tests periodically. And it was just a different way to learn. I learned how to read a book. I learned how to read a math book. I learned how to teach other kids. And so I've been back to see him a bunch of times while he was still working as a teacher, and thanked him because really that really took off my career, really. Um, and interestingly enough, he said that we actually not only got through Algebra 1, but we had gotten through most of Algebra 2 that year. And he was like, "I've never had kids learn as much as you guys learned. Like we went nuts." So yeah, so I think that was my early influences.
Do you remember the first day of being a teacher back in 1991?
I can't really remember my first day of being a teacher. I do remember the faces of a couple of kids in my class. I don't remember their names at this point. I have menopausal brain anyway, so I don't remember things from yesterday. But
Same
but
here.
yeah. Oh, you have menopausal brain too? That's
Not
awesome.
yet. Not yet.
You got the hot flashes, and we need to cool you down. Yeah, so I do remember their faces and stuff, and I remember my cooperating teacher, because we had to have a cooperating teacher that when we first started student teaching that we worked with, and I remember him putting me in the classroom and saying, "Okay, here's your materials. I'll be back." And I remember seeing him in the teacher's lounge. He's just hanging out. While I was trying to find my way teaching. So it was like sink or swim. He threw me in the fire. It was like, "Figure it out." And I was like, "Okay, I got it. No problem." So
Jeanne, for those people that are watching our show live stream right now or later on audio, and there's someone out there that's looking to get into the teaching industry, from your experiences, what advice would you give to those potential future teachers?
you want the truth, or do you want a nice response?
Both.
The truth is, don't do it. Run. It's changed. It's changed a lot. Honestly, I don't know. These kids coming up, I'm like, "Oh, I feel for you," because we're asked to do so much more than we ever had to do before. I mean, we have to be mentors. We have to be psychological counselors. We have to be interpreters for different languages. We have to be everything to everybody, right? And it's a lot. So I don't know, like the kids coming up, I don't know how they're going to do it all. It's a lot to manage, for sure.
In your teaching career, did you ever get to the point where you felt burnt out?
Oh yeah, the pandemic, that was crazy. In fact, right after the pandemic was over, and it wasn't really completely over because I know the legislature was still like not in session. They were doing everything through Zoom, and there was a bill in the Massachusetts Senate, I believe, or in the House, that was to allow teachers of my age to retire early, and they were going to like have us be allowed to be buying back years to get out like up to 5 years early. And my argument, I spoke in meetings on Zoom, and I said, look, I said the last 2 years was like teaching 5 years. Like it was crazy. We were so exhausted. Um, and I was set up pretty well because I had left one school district to go to another right before the pandemic. And I did that because I had a vision for my classroom with technology, how I wanted my classroom to look. But the school I was working with didn't have one-to-one technology, so the kids didn't all have their own device. So I went somewhere where every kid had their own device. It was a one-to-one school. And that really set me up for success because I had already been working with kids with online programming and how to assign them things online, how to make math videos for them to learn through online methods. I had a bunch of websites I knew about that I used regularly. So when we went into the pandemic, the only thing that I really struggled with was like, how am I going to teach live? That was the only thing I really didn't know was how am I going to teach live? So I spent the whole summer trying to figure out how am I going to teach live, right? Because when we closed school in March and we were out all spring, we were able to make little videos, post them. So those were things I was already doing. We would give them assignments online, and I was already doing that. So any of that was normal, right? Meeting the kids to kind of get a gauge of how they were feeling at home isolated, that was a lot to manage, right? Because the kids were home, they were not around their friends, they were freaked out. It was a lot. There was a lot going on. But when we came back to school and we weren't really back yet and we had to teach online, I had to figure that out. So it took me all summer to kind of do a lot of investigative work. I did a lot of online chats with people from all over the country through, I think we were going through Instagram at that point. And we had meetings online trying to figure it all out. So that was a lot. That was a lot to manage. And then it got even worse when they brought like half the kids back in the classroom, because then you had half the kids sitting in front of you and half the kids at home. And you had to figure out how to manage what's going on in your class with what's happening on your screen. And it was a lot. It was nuts. So by the end of the pandemic, most of us were probably burnt out.
And that's when I started my new career, was in the pandemic. So that was a horrible 2 years, but the only good thing that came out of it for me was finding a new career, and you managed to get through it. And I've actually talked to a lot of comedians as well, and they were thankful they had the technology to do stand-up comedy virtually on Zoom and these platforms, but they all would say it's not the same as being in person as a stand-up comedian, same as a teacher. It's not the same teaching on virtual as it is in person.
Right. 100%. It was very different.
Jeanne, how much did your teaching experience help you get into the comedy industry, and when did you get that comedy bug?
Okay, well, I had the comedy bug my whole life, honestly. Growing up, I had an uncle that he exposed us pretty early on to like Monty Python and Mel Brooks and all of that genre. And so we were quoting comedy lines like our entire lives, right? And we would always try to make each other laugh. All of us cousins, and I have a brother, my younger brother, and I, and we were very fascinated by comedy. And you know, up and coming was, like all the different comedians that came up, like Steve Martin and Saturday Night Live. We were always watching it and studying and learning new ways to make each other laugh. So I was always interested in comedy. I never did any stand-up. I did theater in high school. I was in different shows in high school. So I was exposed to the stage. So that's helpful, right? Because I was used to being in front of people. But I didn't actually start comedy until 2 years ago. And
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. And yeah, I loved it. I mean, I was right away, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. This is really fun." So yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting how I got into it, actually. It's quite a story, if you would like to hear it.
Absolutely. And being a teacher, you're doing public speaking on a regular basis in front of an audience. And I'm sure the teacher, you saw a lot of things that was kind of funny, comical as well, too, in your time.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I'm always like cracking jokes. Like I taught I've been teaching on and off at UMass Lowell as well, teaching calculus up there. And those kids, sometimes they're not focused, college kids. So I always like slip in jokes here and there, and again, because I've been teaching calculus so long, I've got jokes about everything in calculus. And the ones that are paying attention are the ones that are constantly laughing, and the other kids that aren't paying attention are like, what are you laughing at? And they're like, well, you're missing it. Like she's up there like telling jokes and you're not paying attention. So yeah, so I think I've always had kind of been able to tell jokes to kids and make them laugh. But yeah, but a couple of years ago, I actually, interestingly enough, I was dating this guy, which a lot of my stories start with. I was dating this guy, and he suddenly decided he was a lone wolf, and he up and left.
Ghosted you too, right? Ghosted?
Pretty much. I mean, he just
That's the big term nowadays, ghosting.
yeah, he didn't really ghost. He did tell me he was leaving, but he just called up and said, yeah, I'm leaving. This is after dating for 7 months." And I'm like, "Wait,
Wow.
like, where are you going?" And he's like, "Well, I'm moving to Florida, so I'll see ya." And I was like, "What?" Like, "What?" Like, what does this mean? So, yeah, so I was, like, really just beside myself. I was like, "What the heck?" Like, I've been through enough of these experiences that I'm like, I'm not gonna sit around and cry about this, like, whatever, he's a moron, lone wolf, go and whatever. Um, so I called up his ex-wife because that's what we do, when things like this happen. And and I said, "Hey, was he this flaky with you? Like, what the hell happened?" And she was like, "Oh," she's like, well, I don't know, like, I guess he was kind of flaky or whatever, but she's like, "Hey, I'm running this meetup group. So why don't you come to the meetup group and meet new people?" So I was like, "Okay." So I went to the meetup group and I met this woman, and she said, "Oh, I'm starting this stand-up comedy class in a couple weeks." And I was like, "Really? I've always wanted to do that." I was like, "Do you mind if I sign up too? We could do it together." And she was like, "No, no, that would be great because like I'm really scared about it, whatever." So I signed up for the class and I've just never gotten off stage since. Like it was just so fun. And it gives me a creative outlet. I'm constantly writing. My TV is hardly ever on anymore because I'm always sitting and writing comedy, um, or thinking about it, or making sure I have my bits in my memory bank, which takes me a little bit longer because again, menopausal brain. Um, but yeah, so it's just been so fun, and it's given me a sense of community because I go to these different open mics and I get to see the same people, and I'm like, "Hey," it's always good to see people, friendly faces, and gets me out of the house, brushes off the cobwebs, so
In
they don't.
And one thing about comedy is cheaper than seeing a shrink.
This is very true. Yes.
Therapy.
I have not needed any kind of psychological help since I've started comedy. So there you go. All the psychiatrists are like, shh, we need the money. Don't tell them that. But yeah, it's really been helpful.
Do you remember the first time you went on stage in front of a live audience, and were you a little bit nervous or had stage fright?
Oh God, yeah. So 2 years ago, in fact, it was exactly 2 years ago. It was March. It was I think it was our first day. It was the first day of class. I was taking class with Kathy Ferris. She's a big comedian in this area, and the first night she said, okay, she had us doing like a 1-minute bit. And then she said, there's an open mic going on downstairs. So all of you are going to go downstairs and get on stage. And a bunch of people in the class walked out the front door and did not go anywhere near the open mic. But I was like, sure, I'll do it, So I got up on stage and I did my bit and people laughed. And when I got off stage, and I will never forget it, and I've told him this, there's a guy named Lloyd Sharp from here in Massachusetts, Lloyd Legacy Sharp, and he was there, which he's in a lot of different open. He's everywhere, like everybody knows him, and he like was giving me the knuckles, he was like, good job, and he was giving me the knuckles, and I was like, oh my God, like this guy's really cool. And so I talked to him a little bit, and then I didn't see him again for like a year. And I ran into him again and I said, that was like my first night on stage and you were so encouraging and you were so warm. I said, I just felt like $1 million. So, it's people like that really, it helps you to keep going, right? So.
Do you have any rituals or superstitions before a live performance? And do you find performing in front of a bigger audience or a smaller audience is harder?
Smaller audiences are very difficult for me. Open mics where there's just comedians sitting around is very difficult for me because performing to a group of comedians when there's no other audience, when there's no like real life people, comedians are like teaching a bunch of middle school kids. They're not paying attention to you. Their backs turned to you. They are talking amongst themselves and not paying attention to you. And you can't discipline them like you can in a classroom. So when I get into an open mic and there's a bunch of comedians sitting around and they're not paying attention, it is brutal for me because I can't focus because my teacher brain is spinning and I'm thinking, I want to say, young man, turn around, like, stop talking. Like, I want to like send him to the principal's office, and so it's very hard for me to focus and do what I got to do. I am much better in a really large crowd of people. My best performances have been in front of a big group of people. So, for sure.
How long does it take for you to gauge an audience's mood?
Oh, not long at all. Right away. If your stuff's going to land or not going to land. 100%. Just from watching the people that go before you, whether or not your stuff's going to land. I've gone places where, and again, open mics, and I go in and there's a bunch of 20-something-year-old guys in the open mic. And I'm like, my stuff is not going to land here. Nothing that I do is going to land here. And I just know that up front, they're not my audience.
Jeanne, in your opinion, what makes a good stand-up comedian and how important is the writing aspect of comedy and where do you get some of your inspirations for your jokes?
A good stand-up comedian to me is just, it's whoever you relate to, right? So like I relate to people like Taylor Tomlinson. Like I strongly relate to her. Not necessarily, and I'm sorry, Taylor, but not necessarily her latest on Netflix, but her first 3 Netflix specials that she did. were like so on point to like it was Taylor in her 20s dating, Taylor in her 30s dating, Taylor in her late 30s dating. And everything she was saying made me howl because I'm like, it's no different dating in your 50s. Like, so I could relate. So I think good stand-up comedians are people that you can relate to. I don't relate to other people that are on Netflix right now, right? And I watch them and I'm like, like I could take it or leave it. But other people really like them and talk about them all the time, because they relate to them. So stand-up comedy, it just depends on who you relate to. Writing, very, very important. Most stand-up comedy is scripted. They make it look like it's not scripted, but most of it is scripted. You know what you're going to say. You know what your punchlines are. You know the order of your set, right? You know what works, because sometimes you change the order of your set and it no longer works. People don't laugh at it the same way. You change the order of wording, sometimes it doesn't work. And so that's a lot of why you go to open mics. It's your gym. You're working out, right? You're trying to figure out what combination of words works in what order. And so you just try different things. But writing is extremely important. I'm an avid cruiser. I love being on cruise ships. And I've talked to a lot of the comedians on cruise ships. I try to always meet with the comedian on board to get their input on things, see their kind of perspective of things. And they're not allowed on those cruise ships unless they, give them the script. And they have to stick to the script. If they go off that script and they start talking about politics or whatever it is, they start going on a tangent about, the cruise ship will never have them back. So everything is very scripted.
Jeanne, have you seen a comedian? Some people can be funny in front of family, friends, classmates, co-workers, but as soon as they get on stage, they just kind of shrink in the spotlight. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw it in my classes, right? People, they put together their stand-up comedy routine. They got on stage in front of their friends and family and other audience members, and they froze. And they, started rattling and spiraling, and I've seen it happen, It's much different to be funny around friends and family than it is to get up on stage. It's very different. There are some things
Jeanne,
that really work with my family that don't work on stage,
How important is it to do your homework and research each club that you go to, especially if you're in different cities or states?
So I've performed in New Hampshire, I performed in Maine, I performed in Vermont and Massachusetts. I haven't been down to Connecticut yet. I haven't been to Rhode Island yet. And then I did go, I went on a cruise last summer out of Seattle, and I did a comedy competition in Seattle. And I ended up coming in second place, which was really cool.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So my stuff landed pretty well there, I performed in Florida, in Largo, Florida, in a show with Damian Davis. He's a big comedian down in Florida. And that really, really well too. Like, it was a really good audience of people. And that landed. So I don't know. It's, sometimes it's hit or miss. You just don't know what kind of audience you're going to walk into. I was at a club in Vermont that I really super loved. And I would go back in a heartbeat. It's just far. I have to stay overnight there, But yeah, you never know what you're going to walk into.
How would you describe your comedy style for people that have never seen you perform live?
I'm snarky. I'm very snarky. I'm a very big player of words. I use different words to mean different things. I'm very thoughtful with the way that I design my sets and what I'm doing. Every single picture of me is very animated, so I guess my facial expressions are I guess I have very big facial expressions, because every time I'm trying to find a picture to use as my profile picture, whatever, I'm like, you know, all the all the pictures of me are like, oh, you know. So I don't know. I must make a lot of faces, I guess.
Same here.
So
How
yeah.
how important are observational skills as a comedian?
Very important. Yeah, very important. I'm actually going on a cruise um, in 28 days now, and I'm very excited about it. Actually, it's the first time I'm traveling completely alone. I'm going on this cruise ship by myself, not meeting anybody on the cruise ship, just going. And that's the thing I'm most excited about. I'm going to sit there with my comedy notebook and just watch people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And traveling, I've traveled
oh,
by myself many times. You know what? Being media or just going on my own, I always know how to talk to people. I know how to
mhm,
people approach me or I approach them. And the nice thing is when it's the end of the night, you have your own room, you got your own privacy, and it's kind of a nice thing because sometimes you travel with other people. I don't like this, I don't want to do that, or they kind of
mhm.
can drag you down. So there are advantages to traveling by yourself once in a while too.
Yeah, it's going to be very different. It's going to be interesting. A lot of times when I go on cruises, I go with my friend Jonathan. He's from Arizona. He was a former college professor from Arizona, and we met on a cruise ship actually. So we meet on cruise ships all the time now. We go back and so we stay in two different rooms and we meet up for breakfast. We meet up for dinner, but a lot of the times I'm like the last cruise we were on, I'm like, okay, John, I really want to go to this waterfall thing where you jump off these waterfalls and swim, and then it takes you on this excursion to go meet these monkeys, and the monkeys crawl all over you. And John was like, this is a lot of no for me. He's like, I'm not going on that. And I'm like, okay. So, he'll go off and he'll just go on a bar tour and I'm off with the monkeys. Um, but he's easy to travel with because he doesn't need to do what I'm doing. We just do our own thing. So, yeah.
And speaking of that, I have a clip from your YouTube channel. The clip's called Men on Pause. And where can people subscribe to your YouTube channel and social media handles?
Well, yeah, you can't subscribe to my YouTube channel because as a teacher, the kids find me. In fact, I had a video online recently where I was talking about how we showed them a movie at Christmas. We showed them I think it was the Lego movie or whatever. People will correct me, I'm sure, if I'm wrong. But there's a scene in it with a chicken jockey or whatever. And the kids in the movie theaters were like going nuts over the chicken jockey. So, of course, when the chicken jockey came on and these middle schooler kids were sitting around, they went bananas over the chicken jockey. And so, as a comedian, I expanded on that and I said, like, oh, they were throwing popcorn all over the room. And I exaggerated about their behavior. And one of my kids found the video online and came in very indignant because I was picking on them and I was not telling the truth. So I don't publish a lot of my
Okay.
videos online because they will find me.
Am I okay to play Men on Pause?
Oh yeah, that
Okay.
one's fun. Yeah.
Okay, that was a great clip, and there's a little dig at Bill Belichick in this too. So just one moment, and we'll play this clip, courtesy of Jeanne DeRosa. And just give me 1 second. I'm the audio guy too, so if you can't hear the audio, we'll fire the audio guy, which is me.
Very good.
I try to be funny. That's why I'm in radio. So 1 second.
Suffering from a condition that women of my age seem to have, and maybe some of you might be starting to see this. It's called Men on Pause. Yeah. Men look right through me at the younger models, like they all want to Belichick it. Yeah. But I don't just sit around and cry that I'm invisible. No. I've just taken up a new hobby. Shoplifting. Oh, yes. I'm so happy because Black Friday is coming. And I can steal me a 4K TV, no problem. And I love that for me. Yeah. Do you guys love my emotional support animal? I take it everywhere with me. It's so beautiful. Yes. So I'm actually really concerned about Bill Belichick. Like, let's talk about his girlfriend, Jordan. Do you guys know what the difference between Bill Belichick and Jordan are? No? 40 years. 40-year difference. So by this math, I should be dating my dad's friends. But they're all dead. So I'm thinking maybe the man that invented calculus? Because, yeah, math. It's for me. Yes.
And thank you so much for letting me play that clip. Thoughts on that clip in the club that you performed that at?
Yeah, that's at Fox and the Hound in Quincy. That's Steve Sweeney's place down there. Yeah, I love that segment. Actually, my Men on Pause segment is one of my favorite. I've added to it a lot. There's a lot more about Belichick in it that you would love. So yeah, it's I think that whole segment itself has probably gotten to be about 5 minutes long.
And I
Because
think Belichick, and I believe Belichick's single again too. I believe they broke up.
Did they really?
I believe they did, but I don't know if I can confirm.
There's still hope for me to date the old man.
You know, he's changed a lot since he left the Patriots because he was always gruffy with the fans and the media. And then he got into broadcasting and you saw a different side of him. And then he goes down to college football. And I was really surprised that he had that side of him, but I think he should go back into broadcasting because really, whether you like the guy or not, and maybe Tom Brady was a big part of his success, he did win 8 Super Bowl rings, 6 with the Patriots, 2 with the Giants. And to me, I think he's great being on TV because he just seems to be so much happier. I guess at the end, it was time for a work divorce. And that's what I went through in my other career. It was time. The Patriots and Belichick, it was just time, just like with me and my other company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes mixing things up is a good thing, right? Like, I've changed jobs a few times. In fact, recently I had I had an interview with this Department of Education in Massachusetts, and they were like, you need to explain to us, why have you changed jobs so many times? And I'm like, because that's how you grow. Like, that's how you change as a person. That's how I've gotten to be the teacher I am. Because I've gone to different school systems. I've seen how things work differently. I've worked with different principals. Anytime I made a move, it was a growth move. And it's good for you.
You want to grow in any career and not shrink or play small.
Exactly.
I can relate to that. And I just love doing what I'm doing and storytelling. This show is about storytelling, and I want myself and my audience to learn something from every guest that comes on here as well. And being in security, I had to deal with a lot of situations where I had to think on my feet. I had to speak to the public, and I had to listening skills are just as important, if not more, than talking as well.
So that means that you're a good candidate for a relationship.
Dating. I haven't dated in 14 years.
Most men don't have listening skills. Let's be honest.
What was that?
Most men don't have listening skills.
Oh, okay. I heard that. I was just being a smart ass.
Yeah.
I try to be funny, but dating, that's another subject. I could do a whole show on dating. The do's and do nots. Man, it's changed a lot over the years.
I do have a whole show about dating.
Love bombing and ghosting and breadcrumbing. There's so many terms I can't even keep up with it.
Oh, there are. Yeah. I actually my whole the reason why my Instagram is Mad Barbie Comedy is because when I first started 2 years ago, I was doing a whole segment about like dating and stuff and advice I would give to kids or whatever. And there was a guest comedian in that night that was helping the class, and he said, "You're like some sort of warped Barbie," and I was like, "Ooh." Yeah. I was like, I'm going to be middle-aged divorced Barbie. So now that's like one of my whole bits is like I'm middle-aged divorced Barbie. I'm mad Barbie. And I give advice to kids and about dating and do's and don'ts.
Have you thought about publishing your own book one day?
Oh yeah, actually I have. I I actually have a couple of chapters of a book. But yeah.
And maybe
Someday.
your own podcast, Mad Barbie Comedy Podcast Show.
Maybe someday. Yeah. Right now my goal is really to get enough material to be able to do comedy on cruise ships. That's my goal right now.
That's your next bucket list.
Yeah, my retirement plan is to go on cruise ships and do comedy.
My retirement will probably be not for another 15 years because I love doing what I'm doing. Cruise ships. For those people who have never been on a cruise ship, why should they experience a cruise ship?
Oh God, what's not to love about a cruise ship? So like as a teacher, the best part of a cruise ship is you get on board and you never have to make a choice or a decision about anything. You go to dinner, you get the menu, you want 4 different things, you order 4 different things, and those lovely people bring it to you. And they say, "Here, would you like some more?" It is the best thing ever because you never have to think about anything. You just go and just enjoy and be and see the world. And, you wake up and you're in a different place. Goodness, when I went to Alaska last summer, it was like you wake up in the morning, and I don't often get a balcony anymore because you can get an inside cabin. It doesn't make any difference. And you can do 50 million cruises for the price of one. So I always travel on an inside cabin and get up in the morning and go out and see the world. But for the Alaska cruise, you have to have a balcony because you wake up in the morning. First of all, I left my doors open all the time. So it was nice and cold. You know that cold where you've got the blankets on top of you and you've got 50 million blankets that are heavy and the cold air is on your face. It was perfect. And you wake up and you look out your window and all you see are glaciers and weird mountain ranges. And it's just unbelievable. So yeah, definitely cruising is I love it because you wake up in different places and you would never see those places otherwise, So I love it.
What are some fun facts about yourself or one fun fact about yourself?
Other than that, I do comedy. Fun facts about me. Well, I learned to play hockey at 35 years old.
Good for you.
Yep. My boys were actually all 3 of my kids, my daughter and my 2 boys, all played hockey at one point or another. And my boys were playing hockey at that point, and the parents are always yelling at the kids. "You're going too slow. That was a terrible shot." And I'm like, this looks I'm thinking this is harder than it looks. So I went and took a clinic and learned how to play hockey. And then I was on a women's team. It was great. My mom got to see me score a goal.
Wow. What number did you wear and what position do you play?
I don't remember the number. I was much better on offense than defense because I couldn't get back to save my life to help.
So you were like Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, I was not. I was very awkward on skates, but that made me really a good winger because I was with on the line with this woman, Brenda, and Brenda was supposed to be on the Olympics at one point, but then she got injured. She never got to go to the Olympics. So she was phenomenal. And she said to me, she's like, "Just skate towards the goalie, keep your stick down." She goes, "You know how to deflect the puck. You know how to like redirect the puck." She's like, "Just keep your stick down. I'll try to put the puck on your stick and you just get it in that net." And she's like, "The more distracting you can be to the goalie, the better." So I would just skate because I was distracting and I scored. And I could hear my mom up in the stands going, "Oh, that's my girl." So yeah, it was fun.
As we wrap up the show, Jeanne. This is a segment called Ask the Host CDP a question. CDP are my initials, but do you have a question for me before we wrap this up?
Yeah, why haven't you dated in 14 years?
I've been married to my new career the last 6 years. I guess I had so many bad experiences, and I do have female friends, and I'm quite happy with it. As for dating right now, my focus is just strictly on my 3 talk shows, and then I do freelance media work for a number of pro sports teams, and I just I'm
Yeah.
happily being single. There are nice women out there, don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
just dating nowadays, it's just a pain in the butt because a lot of people don't want to put the work in. It's a 50-50. You can't be doing 90% and the other person does 10%. And I'm still old school. I miss phone calls. I miss in person. And a lot of it now is, oh, we'll DM you, text you, and you can't get a sense of how somebody is from that all the time. In my
Mhm.
opinion, I know I'm old school.
No, no, I'm with you. That's why I haven't dated in 2 years, because it seems like every time you try, it's like not, just not worth your time.
And the
So
social taboo is, remember the old days, Sasha, you can't go out in public by yourself. That's nonsense. A lot of times I do things on my own or I'm doing media work on my own. I run into
Mhm,
people. I have people skills, and I'm sure
mhm.
you do as well. And you can talk to strangers, and it's just nice. And you don't try to force something. If you try to force something, it's not going to work.
Yep, yep. I hear you.
I'll
Well, I'm
have to
glad
bring
I
you
asked
back.
you the question. See?
I'll have to bring you back on again just to spend an hour to talk to you about dating nowadays. And I have
Mhm.
had dating coaches on my show, by the way.
Oh, no kidding. All right. Well, what would be fun if we had like a panel? You could
Yes,
have Mad Barbie and you have like a dating coach, and then you have like, it'd be kind of cool.
absolutely. And where can our audience follow you on social media? Do you have any plans on a website in the future for your comedy or no?
Yeah, I think that that's kind of what everybody does now, right? They start a website. I'm still in the tinkering around phases right now, so I am on Instagram. It's at Mad Barbie Comedy, Mad underscore Barbie underscore comedy, and yeah, I'm just going to keep going with my performing and trying to get on as many shows as I possibly can. Um, Again, like shows are much easier for me than open mics. So I go to the open mics because I have to try out the material somewhere. But um, the more shows I could get on, the better.
Have you thought about improv as well?
I did take an improv class. Yep, I did improv. I do like improv. I do like writing sketch comedy. I took a writing sketch comedy class as well. Um, I've got actually a sketch comedy thing I'm putting together um, that I'm going to put on Instagram at some point. I just have to record it. But yep. So I do love all of the different venues of comedy. So yeah, not opposed to doing it again.
Do you have any upcoming shows that you want to promote? And is there any of your shows that are live streamed for people that are out of the country like myself to watch?
No, I don't have any live streaming things at this point. I am, let's see, on this Friday, I am in Ashland. Stephen May is performing, and I am the host of that show. So I'm looking forward to that. It's one of my first times hosting a big show like that. He's a really good comedian. I'm going to be also hosting a show with Amy T. She's also a big comedian in this area. She's going to be in May. I'll be hosting her show in May in Westford. So I do have some big shows coming up that I'm really looking forward to. And I try to always on Instagram kind of put out like a flyer as to where I'm going to be and when.
A fun fact about me, my first guest was 6 years ago, and her name's Christine Barger. She's a female ventriloquist.
Oh,
And you know
wow.
what? The ventriloquism is not easy. Have you ever thought about doing that? No.
Um, no, no. It would be really cool to throw my voice though. That would be really fun.
And then you just need to find a puppet to go along with it.
Or, or I could just throw my voice to my desk and freak out the kids. That'd be cool.
There's a great idea.
Off my math book talk.
Absolutely.
Not
But
I. Okay.
It's not easy doing what they do. So that's not easy for what they do. And she was great to tell me about it. And I guess there's more female ventriloquists than before. It used to be all men, but now it's a lot more females doing it as well.
So did she teach you how to do it? Have you done some ventriloquism?
No, she wanted to use me as a puppet.
You know, we all want to use you as a puppet, Chris.
Well, I am 53, so I used to be 5'9", now I'm 5'6".
Oh, you're shrinking.
Yes.
All
That's
right.
what happens when you hit over 50.
So you're trying to shrink down to be on someone's lap? Is that the deal?
I guess so. Make money out of it as long as it pays the bills. That's what it's all about.
You're going to be someone's dummy.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But hey, I want to say thank you so much for coming on here. I really appreciate it. It's the guests that make a good talk show, and I'm very lucky to have such amazing guests. And I just want to say thank you so much, and continued success in your career as a math teacher and as a comedian. And the next time I can get to the Massachusetts area, Boston area, I will let you know. I've been there once. I had a little too much to drink at Cheers and went to a Red Sox game and nearly got hit by a baseball, and it was a great experience. So I'd like to get back to Boston to go to a Red Sox game. And I don't know if Cheers even exists anymore in Boston, but I managed to get one of those norm-sized beer mugs.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fun place to visit. So if you come, you look me up, and if I come up to Canada, I will come and find you.
Yes, and I'm only 6 hours from Quebec and only an hour from Toronto. But if you come to Toronto, take public transit. Toronto is the worst city in North America for traffic. I know Boston's bad, New York's bad, LA, but Toronto, I think, has everybody beat.
Oh, see, I have to come up and go to the NHL museum there.
The Hockey Hall of Fame, which is in downtown Toronto.
Yes.
To see the U.S. gold medal puck and all the stuff from the Olympics.
Oh,
and you know what? Even though the wrong country won, the men, the women, and the Paralympics, you know what? The game of hockey is the biggest winner, because I think hockey at its highest level is the most exciting sport out of all of them.
Oh, 100%. Yep, love it. I actually miss going to all the games. My kids are older. They don't do that anymore.
They grow up quick, and my niece and nephew, they're all in their 20s now. They're all adults, and it's like, yeah.
Yep.
And I find the older you get, somebody's got a remote control and it has it on the fast forward button. It just seems like everything's a blur after 50.
Yeah. Don't blink.
Next time you see me, I'll be only 4'2".
With a stick up your ass. With someone ventriloquizing your voice to you.
Yep.
That sounds great.
So as long as it pays the bills. But hey, Jeanne, I want to say thank you so much. Give me a little bit of time tonight. So I'll send you the video link, the audio link, and I will edit this video into some reels and clips. Are you on TikTok by any chance, or just Instagram?
I have a TikTok account, but I don't really
use it.
During the pandemic, I do have some videos of me dancing on TikTok, I will admit, in funny wigs and such.
Oh,
so that was things we did in the pandemic,
That was like 6 years ago.
I know.
Holy cow.
Crazy. I mean, I didn't do anything as crazy as there was there was a teacher that did the flash dance.
Okay.
With water dumping over his head and all, the flash dance. Yeah, he did it. So at least I wasn't that bad.
Anyways, Jeanne, I want to say thank you so much for coming on, and you have an open invite to come back on my show again in the future, and just give me a little time tonight and we'll send you the links to our show, and I'll tag you in on Facebook and Instagram as well. And please tell everybody about my show, or how bad it is.
I will tell them how wonderful you are and charming, and that you're a good guy to date because you listen.
Dating and me. Wow. Dating does make for good comedy. It does.
There you go. It's been very nice talking to you, Chris.
You too, Jeanne. Thank you so much. Continued success, and we'll keep in touch with you on social media, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, everybody. That concludes part 2, my doubleheader of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com. Speaking of Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now, the federal EV rebate is back. The federal EV rebate is back. You can get up to $5,000 off the purchase of your new Chevrolet EV. More details are available at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Mall, or check out their website, barrycullen.com, or you can call them for information at 519-824-0210. So if you're looking for an electric vehicle, the Chevrolet EV rebate is back on. $5,000 off your purchase. That's pretty good. So maybe one day in the future, yours truly, CDP, will consider an EV as well. So check out the Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership for more details on the federal EV rebate. And Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership, great customer service, great products, and they've been a proud sponsor and advertiser of this show for the last 3.5 years. So if you're looking for a new pre-owned vehicle, GM, Cadillac, or EV, Barry Cullen Chevrolet is the place to go. As we wrap up this show, guys, I have another announcement to make too. I have another show coming up on Wednesday, and this is a special show. The next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again brought to you by barrycullen.com, on Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, with my special guest, Buffalo Bandits player and National Lacrosse League champion, transition player number 3, Thomas Whitty. Thomas will come on and talk to us about being a Buffalo Bandit, being a part of that National Lacrosse League 3-peat championship last year, and talk about the Bandits' big win over San Diego this past Saturday, 9-8. So if you're a fan of the National Lacrosse League world champion Buffalo Bandits and the fan of indoor lacrosse, check out Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, again with number 3 transition player Thomas Whitty from the National Lacrosse League's world champion Buffalo Bandits. And as we wrapped up this show, guys, right now the Cambridge and District Humane Society is having a fundraiser on Saturday, April 11th, 2026, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., being held at the Cambridge Newfoundland Club, located at 1500 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. They're having a Prohibition Speakeasy 1920s fundraising event. Tickets are only $75 per ticket, and you can purchase your tickets at cambridgehumanesociety.org, or you can call them at 519-623-7722, extension 0. Ask for Kat or Zach, and they can take your phone order, or you can purchase tickets at the Cambridge District Humane Society, located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario, right across the Cambridge Centre Mall as well. Yours truly will be at the Prohibition fundraiser event on Saturday, April 11th. Hope to see you there as well. Speaking of Cambridge District Humane Society, if you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the cambridgehumanesociety.org website. All the pets that are up for adoption, they're available on their website. They can get all their information. Now, if you want to see a dog or a cat or a pet, you have to do it through an appointment with Michelle there. So 519-623-7722, extension 0. And hopefully you can find a pet. The Cambridge District Humane Society does a great job in looking after our homeless furry friends and ensuring they get put into a good family and good home as well. And Daisy, who was down there for 4 months, was adopted last week. I love Daisy, and I'm so happy for her. She was adopted, and she's now with a new family and has a good home, and that's her job at the Cambridge District Humane Society. I volunteer down there twice a week walking dogs and fundraising as well. And speaking of the Prohibition fundraiser on Saturday, April 11th, 2026, if you're a business and you'd like to donate a prize, they are having a silent auction at that event. Please call the shelter at 519-623-7722, extension 0. Ask for Zach. He's in charge of their special events, and they would be glad to accept a prize from your business as well. So check out the Cambridge District Humane Society. Either check out the Prohibition fundraiser on Saturday, April 11th, or check out their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. They do a wonderful job there with all the animals and that too as well. I want to say thank you again to my special guest tonight, Jeanne DeRosa, who is a math teacher, stand-up comedian in the state of Massachusetts. You can follow Jeanne on these social media platforms. She's on Facebook at Jeanne DeRosa, or you can follow her on Instagram, mad_Barbie_comedy. That's Jeanne DeRosa on Facebook, and on Instagram, you can follow her at mad_Barbie_comedy as well. So we wrap up this show. A bot. I got a comment, and unfortunately it was from the bot. Hey, StreamYard, let's eliminate these bot comments on here as well. And by the way, StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars, live streaming, podcasting, go to StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans like I used to have, or a paid professional plan. And if you're a business that does a lot of webinars or live streaming, go to StreamYard.com and contact our sales department for business pricing as well. Yours truly has been with StreamYard for 5 years now, and I give them a big thumbs up. And as we wrap up the show, guys, I am on Cameo. How about getting a personalized video message from yours truly on cameo.com/Chris Palme? I do happy birthday, happy Hanukkah, happy anniversary, congratulations, anything within reason. And just check me out. Go to cameo.com, Chris Palme. Book your Cameo today. Look forward to doing it. You can also follow me on Blue Sky Social. Blue Sky Social is what Twitter X used to be like. At Live with CDP19 on Blue Sky Social, and I do post a lot of content there as well. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram. And I am working on hopefully having this show one day streamed live on TikTok. You can also check out my website, beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme, for all my media content and my social media sites. Speaking of TikTok, you guys can follow me on TikTok at Chris Palme. Follow, like, and share, and let's get my account up to 1,700 followers. I'm just under 1,700, so check me out on TikTok again at Chris Palme. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. The audio version is on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, Good Pods, and remember to subscribe, like, and share. And I want to say thank you to 80 countries around the world for listening to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. Finally, guys, you can email the show, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, at cpalme19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you'd like to support and contribute to my YouTube channel and my media work, you really like my talk shows and my YouTube channel content, I'm on PayPal at Chris Palme at paypal.com if you'd like to contribute, or book a personalized video message from yours truly on cameo.com/Chris Palme. Finally, guys, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads at Live with CDP19 on Threads, Blue Sky Social. I'm on everywhere except Snapchat. And also check out my YouTube channel. I'm 191 subscribers away from 1,000. So let's get 191 more subscribers so I can hit 1,000. Make sure you go to Chris Palme Live with CDP Talk Show. Hit the subscribe, like, and share notification. And also, I have a lot of YouTube shorts there as well. And please check out my interview and some of my content from the FMJ Foreigner Meets Journey tribute band show that was in Fergus, Ontario at the Fergus Grand Theatre this past Friday night as well. Those guys do a great job honoring legendary rock band Foreigner and Journey as well. So check out my interview with Michael Peltier and In Judson, and I'm sure you guys will like it. And they're playing this Saturday at I'm not sure, I can't remember. They're playing this Saturday, March 28th in Port Colborne, Ontario. So just go to the FMJ Foreigner Meets Journey tribute band Facebook page, and they will have all the dates, the clubs, and times there as well. That is about it today, guys. I had a busy day with 2 shows, and I want to say thank you to my first guest, Kumusha, for coming on earlier today. She is the CEO and founder of the Summit Group. Thank you so much for her coming on. She was a former journalist. And thank you to Jeanne DeRosa, a math teacher and stand-up comedian, for coming on as well. And I'm working on more shows, guys, this week. Again, my next show, Wednesday, March 25th, 8 p.m. And I'll have transitional player number 3, Thomas Whitty, on from the Buffalo Bandits. And I want to say thank you to Alma from the Buffalo Bandits for arranging this interview. She's in charge of their media communications this year for the Buffalo Bandits, who are now 8-6 and in 6th place in the NL playoff standings, and they have won 4 in a row. And the Bandits are back in action this Saturday night at Saskatchewan as well. That is about it for today, guys. Again, thank you to everyone for watching this show and listening to this show. It's the audience that makes this show, along with the guests. So thank you, the audience. And I'm really looking forward to Wednesday night's show with Thomas Whitty at 8 p.m. And the Small Talk podcast will return this Tuesday, March 31st at 8 p.m. with Marlene Sharp and myself and our special guest as well. And I will announce that this weekend as well. I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see you back here Wednesday at 8 o'clock with Thomas Whitty from the Buffalo Bandits. Good night, everybody.